Well, hello there everybody and welcome to another video and welcome to another review video. And today we are reviewing yet another installment in the Horus Heresy series. Oh my dear friends, I'm once again enjoying it quite a lot after going on a little bit of a hiatus because I really wanted to reread the Eisenhorn Omnibus. Nevertheless, now that's finished, read it for the second time, enjoyed it immensely. We are reviewing another short story from the Mark of Calth anthology, and it's The Traveller by David Annandale. And let me tell you, I've been enjoying this collection of short stories and one novella that deals with everything that happened on Calth, which of course we know was the tremendously horrific attack of the word bearers on the world of the Ultramarines, which is comparable, I think, as far as the amount of atrocity goes, with Istvan 3 and Istvan 5. It has, or it did, really influence not only the world itself, but the entire system for a long time. And imagine that. It really, the word bearers, they tried to catch the Ultramarines by surprise and unawares, which they did, but they underestimated the blue guys, of course. They are not to be effed with so much, and of course through their resilience, through their fighting spirit, their strength, and the fact that they're Legion Astartes, right? They did sour the feeling and the taste of victory in the word bearers' mouth. Now, of course, these short stories deal with individual characters and their fates and their lives when everybody basically had to go underground on Calth because the sun was influenced in such a way that life on the surface of the planet became inhospitable. And in this short story, we meet not really a major player in the grander scheme of things, but a man who finds himself underground. And of course then, it doesn't really matter what or who you were before this atrocity, because everybody needs to, as we say, I don't know if you say it in other countries, but pull, like by one rope, basically work together, right? And be more or less equal, of course. Astartes will be more equal than the rest, obviously, but you know what I mean. And so, at this point of time, also, the Lectitio Divinitatus is very much spread out all over the Imperium of Man, and this new religion is spreading more and more. The one that, of course, is very normal in Warhammer 40,000, which, of course, is the fact that the Emperor is the God Emperor. It's in its very beginnings at this point, and not everybody considers the Emperor to be God, of course, from the Loyalists' point of view. And there's a man, and he starts hearing voices. And he thinks that those voices have got something to do with an individual who works with him. And that individual has been tainted by the warp and has been courting the powers of the warp. And he tries to tell a lot of people. They don't believe him at first. But there are people who do believe him. Why? Because that man himself had survived two events that made it seem as if it was a miracle, or two miracles actually, that he had survived. He was the only survivor, the sole survivor of two awful events, which of course both of them were connected with the attack on Calth. And so himself and the people, they are starting to believe that the Emperor chose him for some sort of higher purpose. And we are talking about the followers of the new religion. And so he starts hearing voices, and he thinks that there are traitors and heretics all over. And so people gather around him as if he was a saint. And then another thing happens, but suffices to say that it so happens that this man acquires a huge following of people who start murdering people in that underground complex of archaeologies that he points at and says, oh, he's a heretic because he hears the voices. Spoilers will come in this review. After all, if you're here, the Mark of Calth is, I think, the 25th in the Horus Heresy series. I think that you have, those people who are watching, the 5 people who are watching, you have read all that came before, and Know No Fear, and Battle for the Abyss, and The First Heretic, which is really very much not only important but necessary for you to get into this short story collection. So you don't mind spoilers. And if you do, go away, read the book, and come back. Are you back? Fine, good. Well, obviously, where do you think the voices are? In his own head, right? He has been possessed by a demon from the warp. The Traveler, who really travels through one of the most dangerous means there are. He just travels through communication. You talk to somebody and that possession just passes on. Well, that's very dangerous, right? It's a very good idea. I haven't really encountered this kind of position ever in literature or stories in general. Just being possessed by simple communication, just by talking to somebody. Even over the vox. Calling them. That's mental. I've bloody loved this short story. And it was written in a very good way. Of course, you understand. You realize very early on, you realize that, yeah, it's you who is hearing the voices, and the problem is you are the problem, buddy, not the people around you. But still, and maybe even with this knowledge in mind, it's even worse, to read what they did to the people in the archaeology. Because that one man was possessed, and then you realize how awful warp is, and the atrocities that those demons are able to perform and wreak havoc. Awesome, fantastic, absolutely enjoying this. Man, my OCD just, it doesn't want to let me read just some Horus Heresy volumes. I need to read all of them. And there's something about each and every single one of them that I've read so far that I liked. Some books were okay, some books were fantastic, but there was something good about everything. Right, so let me know in the comments down below what you think, and I can't wait to review another short story. Thank you very much for watching, and remember, the Emperor protects.